Love the bookshelf, John. That is awesome. I imagine that's a real bookshelf, right? It's not a fake background because it looks very real. That's so good. That's so good.
It's actually a pic. It's big. So about
Ah,
10 years ago, that was my office background. My wife laid it out. Everything was nice, and then I we moved, and the background was really crappy. So I just used the picture of that one. So now wherever I am in the world now, it looks like I'm in the same place.
that is wonderful. Awesome. Cool
I
beans. Cool beans. All
yeah,
right.
I need
So thanks for being here and thanks for showing up. I'm gonna kind of talk for a little bit, share with you what I'm been working on, and this talk about money and retirement and love and business. And it's one of those things that I learned a while ago, and it keeps coming back to me. And the more people I meet, the more it seems to be so frustrating to see so many broke, literally. They're about to retire, retired, friends who have retired, and they are still really concerned about money and income and what's happening. So I'm going to be
right.
sharing with you what I'm doing that's working for me. And it's not something that I just read. It's not something that I just been taught how to do. It's more like I've experienced, right? So it's all the above.
Yeah,
I've read it, I've been taught, but this is actually what worked for me to make me get into that modality, not to worry about retirement, not to have that instinct that, oh, my assets could be wiped out and who knows what's going to happen with the market. And anybody could be in a job anywhere in the world and they think they're secure. Like people think that a
right.
job is secure, and there's no security in a job. A company is here today, is not here tomorrow, is not here next month. You never know what's going to happen. There's so much technology going on, it's unbelievable. So, well, welcome, and that's why I'm passionate about this. And to make it even more interesting, I think I did a post on it. I was down in Phoenix, Arizona, in Scottsdale, and I saw this autonomous driverless car, so a car without a driver. And it showed up, and a couple had ordered, and they went in it, and the car drove off. Now, that was exciting. It was the first time for me seeing it.
Yeah,
But if you think about what's happening, like how many people now are dependent on the income from their Uber, the income from their Lyft income. So it's that technology is just gonna wipe out so many more. Even the whole Uber and Lyft technology is gonna be like at risk. So, and that's why this is an interesting topic about money because money is elusive. Money is we're not taught how to deal with money. We're not taught how to allow money to come to us as we grow through, childhood and kids in school. And as a matter of fact, whoever's going to listen to this, other than John, who's here today with the recording, like there's so many MBA students, there's so many financial people, they don't even know money. They think they do, but they don't. They don't know how to earn money unless they have a job. And if their retirement gets wiped out, they're going to be broke. They're not going to live in the house that they want. They're not going to have the dream retirement that they want. Now, you could always survive, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you want to live in that mansion that you want to be at, right? So, and that's why, I called it like this. Let's talk about money. And I'm just going to be sharing what I'm doing that's working. And what could some retirees do? What could some people who are working now do to change the narrative for them? Now, mind you, there's only very few people that become successful after studying this material. Very few people actually get anywhere because we're not trained like this. As a matter of fact, 95% of those who actually do professional development or courses, they don't benefit. And a lot of clients that come to me, they've been coached so many times and they don't get the results. And there's a reason to that. Now, I'm not going to get into the mind part, a lot of it, because I'm going to focus on the money and who taught me this and what I'm doing. So, uh, the idea is to help you align your thoughts with money, how to make money come to you. The three different levels of incomes that you can be working on right now. Like, what are the incomes that you'll be working on right now that can help you, which is that's what you need to start doing. And then the commitment that's going to take on your behalf. And then third is the action. So, uh, we need to develop this predetermined certainty of where we want to be. We want to align, commit, and start taking action, right? And it's going to be incredible. And at the end, I'll share with you a little bit more as to how we can work things out together if this is interesting to you and if this is something you want to uncover and grow. So, welcome, Nancy. So I'm going to share the screen from my iPad, and this is some of like I said, going to share with you what I'm doing, and this is exactly what I'm studying and how I apply. So this is it's not even a PowerPoint. It's more like the actual, little pages that I use. Right? So I happen to come up across this page. These are some of the best mentors in the world that I came across that I studied with, right? So I've studied, with the elite, the one and only Bob Proctor, right? He's now passed away. And I'm just privileged and grateful that I was able to do that for several years. And now I get to study his material about money, mindset, growth, potential. And the interesting thing, how things line up in the universe, Laurel, this is Laurel. Laurel was mentored by Bob, and she became one of his top students, worked with him for many years. And then somehow we got aligned. And so I got mentored at the same time from two people that know money, that know millions, that actually make millionaires, right? She's actually known as the millionaire maker. Bob Proctor, known as the one who started the big table idea as how the $1 million table actually began. And then a few other mentors here, Mr. Harrison Klein, good friend of mine. We have a program together, and one of my another mindset mentors, Doug Dane. So been featured in his book and many other places. So I know what I'm talking about. This is not just theory. This is facts. These are the people that really helped me when I needed help, and I just thought to share this with you today. All right. So let's talk about money because that's really what I want to talk about. I want to talk about money, and uh, we have to kind of see where we are and where we want to go. Like, where are you in this narrative of money? Are you at the beginning level? Are you at the end level? Are you in the millions or the thousands? The actual factor doesn't matter, but here I have it in millions because I'm in the bracket where we need to be talking millions. Because to retire comfortably and to not be broke in this country, in the United States or Canada or Europe, you need to have few millions. And I'm not talking just 1 million. I would say it's going to be need to be at least 5 millions, preferably 10, if you don't have multiple businesses going on. If you just retire with a normal company nowadays, you will be somewhere in here, maybe 300 to 800,000. At best, if the market's good, you'll be in the $1 million. But that's not enough to cover you for 25, 30, 40 years. We're living much longer. And that's why I call it 65% of retirees are broke. I've seen them. I've known people that are, from the companies I've been with, they retire and they have to get a freaking job or they're still paying their mortgages. So we want to change that narrative. We don't want that problem for you to have it. So, but it starts with a decision and a realization of where do you want to be when you retire? Like, what is the goal that you're working on right now so you can have that in assets that actually help you grow? Is it three? Is it five? You have to come up with this number and you're going to make a decision. Now, I learned how to make decisions early on in life, right? And then I learned it a whole lot more with Bob and from Napoleon Hill's book. But when I was 18 years old is really when I made the decision of my life and I had to flee Lebanon on a boat with a backpack. And I made a decision that I'm going to do better for myself. I'm going to do better. I'm going to grow. That life was not worth it anymore for me. I want a better life. So I made a permanent decision and I cut the old life. So you have to emotionally relieve your life from the past that's not serving you. So I was in a place where there was no money, no job, no security, war, poor, lack. There was no way. I made a decision. And you're going to have to make a decision in a similar way onto your future as to what is it that you want. 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, 50 million. You're going to have to make that kind of powerful decision. Most people don't know how to make decisions. And the cool thing about it, in the early on in the lessons when people come and study with me, that's what we study: decisions, responsibility, and accountability, and persistence. They got the four things. But decision is part of it. Like, have you made the decision? Have you decided? Have you taken the time and said, you know what? I look at my retirement and I have a 401k plan. Very, very few have a company retirement anymore, right? Very few. That stopped a long time ago. Maybe some of you, if you're a firefighter or you work for some kind of union, maybe you have it. But most executive I work with, there's no retirement. They have their own asset, their own nest egg, their own 401k plan. But where do you want it to be? Do you look at it every day, every week, every month? And where do you want it to be? So you got to make that decision ahead. And if you don't know how to make decisions, there's a chapter in this book in Think and Grow Rich that is going to knock your socks off once you understand it. So my intention is to help you today decide what is your number? What is your freedom number? That was interesting. One of my assistants, she made this slide and she called, "What's your freedom number?" I was like, "Wow, that's pretty cool." Well, which is like Freedom Day, you know? What's your freedom number? When are you gonna say, I'm done, this is it, I'm good enough, this is gonna be enough for me to have a yacht, to have a house, right? So we gotta come up with this number. And I hope for some of you it's gonna be way past this guy, 10, because 10, 15, 20 years ago, 3 million was very nice. 1 million was, whew. But now we need to be here above 5 million. We need to be in like 10 million because we're living longer. Like some of us have mothers and grandfathers in their 80s and 90s, and we might live even to the hundreds. So we're going to need to be somewhere here past the 10 million. So what's that decision for you? What are you going to do for that Freedom Day? So I made that decision when I was 18 years old, and I cut that old life, that poor life, that lack. Now a lot of people don't do that, and they get stuck with very small numbers, very limited amount of money knowledge, and they will never grow no matter how hard they work. So I want you to get fired up as to your number, as to where is it you're going to be. And you might want to write it on a piece of paper. Like right now, you write it, you say it's $10 million that I want. Even though you might only have 500,000 or 1 million, put 10, put 20, whatever is your number, I don't care. It's really up to you. That's your deal, what you want. I don't care what you want. And I'm going to share with you another slide that really gonna help you further. Now, most people, most retirees, most people, 50 and above, they're stuck. They're stuck looking at their bills. They're stuck looking at their worries and how they're gonna, move through the day. And they have this doubt and fear of their future and their job, and nothing happens. They don't make the decision. They don't move forward. They don't take a persuasive action towards increasing their income. They go and they spend time to get some money, which is the worst way to earn money. So if you're just an employee, and I'm an employee for a long time, if you're just making money from that, good for you, but that's not how you're going to retire freely. That's not how you're going to become wealthy, real wealth. Just trading time for money doesn't cut it. I think I mentioned on a call a few weeks ago that over a 2 day period, we were playing with some stocks and we're just learning and moving things around. And we, gratefully made quite a bit of money. And that was not time for money. That was just playing around and learning. So what are you doing to grow your ability to earn? Now, if you're raised in a low income family or an average income family, your thinking is at that level. And that's what I want to help you do. I want to help you upgrade that thinking. Because if you're only thinking 100,000, that's all you're going to earn. If you're only thinking 50,000, that's all you're going to earn. You're going to have to start thinking bigger. Now, this might stress the hell out of you by yourself. You might not be able to think big numbers because you're too scared. You're too afraid. Your past is not programmed to think big. And I want to help you to think big. Now, why do I want to do that? And I have a bunch of questions here on the screen, and sometimes we share these questions with many that come to talk to us. Have you really taken a vacation where you didn't worry about how much money you spent? Like you really spent 10, 15, 20 grand. Or are you doing this Airbnb stuff where it's $100 a day and you go there and there's more cockroaches than there's freaking air? Like, look back at your year, right? Look back at the last 5 years. Where has your income been? Because If you don't look back, you're not going to get a perspective and enough energy to create to write down the kind of money you want to earn. So look back and say, well, did you earn 100,000 last year? What was it the year before? And you're going to notice most people stay about the same. Most people will stay about the same over 2, 3, 4, 5 year period. If you're only getting 2, 3% more, that's inflation. That's why you're going to stay broke. That's why when you retire, you're not going to have that 70, 80, $100,000, $200,000 a month, right? To make you do whatever you want to do. Now, yeah, when I say a month, it scares a whole lot of people because most people are used to doing, oh, I'll do $50,000 a year. I'll do $100,000 a year. I want you to think much, much bigger, much, much bigger, right? What improvements you need to make in your life right now so you can start earning more in a different way. And I'm going to talk about the different ways of earning. These just are questions to help you think big, right? What would happen to your life if you wake up and you're not worried about your bills? You're not worried about how you're going to pay your 2, 3 people that are working for you, or 10 or 20. The whole narrative will change, right? This financial thing will go away. And it's not just money, right? I mean, I'm talking about money specifically today, but this could apply in any areas of your life. Okay. So before I get to this one, I want to go to this level now. We're going to get deeper into the actual material that I'm studying that are helping me to think big, okay? Because I want you to think big. I want you to think big so that you don't retire broke, so that you change the narrative for you, right? And this is from Bob and Earl Nightingale, which is the two people that I study the most, so we can erase the old programming, right? And he calls it the ABC approach of earning money, which is similar to the ABC type of goal, but it's an ABC approach of learning and earning. What you know you can earn, like what do you think you know you can earn, right? What you think you can earn, or what do you really want to earn? Like you have to set your mind at that caliber. Most people stay here. Very few people go here because they're afraid. They're afraid. And when we talk about goals and big goals, we have to go far. We have to go like much, much bigger than where we are now. So I want you to like look at yourself, right? What are you prepared to let go of so you can start earning what you want? When's going to be the time when you're going to go shopping and not look at the price tag before you actually decide if you like the clothes, the jacket, the car? When are you going to just call the salesman and say, hey, order one for me without even going to see it, just because you want it? It flashes on your mind, you wake up thinking about it, and you go pick it up. That is the want. Most people don't understand the want. Most people have somebody else's want or somebody else's thought. Now, most people get stuck at a certain number. It could be 100,000, it could be 200,000, and they stay that. But guess what? Your lifestyle is spending most of it. So you're not having anything left for retirement. You're not saving part of it to be invested to grow. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what you have to do now to make that grow, because honestly, that's what's working for me. And why not share it with you? I read a post today on LinkedIn, and it says, if you don't share what you know, you're actually holding yourself back and others back, because so many people really need this. So many people want to do this. Okay. So let's talk about money and retirement and why 65% of the retirees are broke. Now, there's so many retirees that are broke because there's so many young people like yourself listening to all of this stuff, checking all these YouTube videos, and you don't know how to earn money. You don't know how to sell. You don't know how to promote your product. You can't somebody get anybody to convert. So in this small little note here, Bob puts it very simply. Very simply. There are really three amounts of money every person should decide upon. So you got to think, and you got to want the money, you got to think about it, and you got to decide. And again, decision comes in, which is in the first lesson that you need to learn. Because if you don't know how to make decisions, this will just fly by you, and it probably is going to. So what's the yearly income that you want to earn right now or in the future? What is it? What is that number? Have you written it down or are you just hoping, oh, this is what's going to come? Yeah, it depends what the company is going to give me. Oh, it depends what the market does. No. What is it that you want? What is that number? You have to put a number. 2 million, 1 million, 500,000. The amount of money one wants to have in the saving account or investment. How much money you want to have? Most people don't even know. Now they say the 401 is with Edward Jones or T. Rowe Price or Fidelity or somewhere. And these are educated people. These are not educated people. They've got degrees, but they have no idea. You have to spend time on this topic. You got to decide what you want, make that decision, and you got to write this number down. What's the amount of money you want in there? Because that's we're going to learn how to attract it. You're going to learn how to make these investments to make it grow. And then when you retire, when you want to stop working and just going to start living in a farm at the beach in your retirement home, like what kind of income you want? The amount of money one wants as a retirement income, whether one ever retires from active work or not. Now, a lot of people don't want to retire. I don't know if I'll ever retire because I like what I'm doing. I'm having fun. And if I get bored, I can change. But you have to make an active decision. Look what he says. Now, here, now it's here that most people make a very serious mistake. They never decide on any of these three amounts of money. And I bet you probably $1,000 that whoever's listening to this, you probably have not decided. And if you have, I'm proud of you. That's so awesome. You're on your way. But you got to decide. You got to make it an intentional activity. Just like intentionally you're here and listening, and you want to avoid failures and mishaps. Uh, you just make that decision. The income you want to earn now or in the near future, the amount of money you want to have in your savings or investment account, and the amount of money that you want to have when you retire. You got to have a very clear amount of number. If you don't have it, it's not going to happen. You're leaving it by chance or luck, right? Okay, so that's the basics. And like I said, decision is so important. And in the first few lessons that I go with most of the people, because everybody needs the basics. You need the foundation of the goal and the decision, responsibility, accountability. We go over that. Now, then he breaks it down. Like what do you have to do so you don't retire broke? Because most people, most employees will just get a job, you go to school, you get a job, start paying taxes, you get a car, you got a house, and you start paying fees and all that mortgage and financial stuff, and that's it. And 96% of them are here in this level. So if we're looking at the sources of income, and I'm telling you, this is what I'm doing that's working for me, and I hope you're doing something similar or more. And these sources of income, you can have as many as you want. If you just have your job as your source of income, well, what happened when the job goes away? Now, it had happened to me twice in 25 years where the job suddenly gone, vanished, gone. And you go from making whatever is your number, let's say 100K to zero. Now, what are you going to do? Most people are like that. And that's why he calls it 96% of the people are stuck, are like dependent on that thing. And they're hoping and wishing. Now, how do you change the narrative? You got to look at a different way to make money. You got to learn how to make money while you sleep. You got to learn how to make money by selling your products, by selling something, by investing in a different way. And I'm going to mention briefly what I'm doing. It doesn't mean that's what you have to do. These are just some of the ways. There are many ways, but these are some of the ways. And I'm not a financial advisor, so it's really up to you to do whatever you want to do. But I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing that's working. So that you are not dependent on a job income. My job can go away tomorrow. The company can move. They can decide to do whatever they want. They could just they can stop liking you or liking me, and they say, "Oh, we're done." And in this country now, everybody's working at will. What does that mean? And if you don't know what that means, when you sign the document, when you work for somebody, it's at will. That means they hired you at their will. You signed in to work with them at their will, and they can decide to change. They can say, we're done, and then you're done, and you can't do anything. Yeah, they might give you 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months, 5 months income, whatever, right? Depending on your position. But you're working at will as a job. So if you're in the M1 category, which is just an employee, just a job, you're at the mercy of that. And the key is this serving you? Right? That's why there's these questions I asked you earlier, and you got to decide what is it that you want, how much you want, and how big, and now, right? So then there's few people, few small percent that take some money from the earning that they do from their job and they start investing a little bit of that. Now it's tough to break free, right? It's tough to take some of that money out and start investing it in a stock or in a some company that's growing, or you lend it to your brother, or you lend it to your uncle, you lend it to somebody and try to make it grow, right? You take that little bit of risk. And then, so this is what? So this is like basically time for money. This is like a little bit of money for money, little bit, not a lot. But then here is when you start investing in companies, when you start investing in real estate assets, when you start having money coming to you every month from a certain asset where you take some of this money and you put it in a house, you put it in a business, you put it in a partnership of something, and then you start getting on a monthly basis 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. And imagine you can have as many as you want. Now, there's only very few percent of the people that know how to do that or succeed in doing that. But imagine you have five or 10 of some kind of investments that give you 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 a month. Very quickly, you are going to have, maybe 10, maybe 20K a month coming to you. Now, this is not a theory, this is not imagination. I didn't think this was possible 7, 8 years ago when I was studying with Bob when he was around. I thought, well, that's just kind of bullshit, is that? How is that possible? But it is possible. But look what he says, less than 1%. Why? How come less than 1% of the people would actually do that, would actually have another asset, another income, another way to earn money? They depend on the freaking job. And they do that because the programming is so big, because the paradigm is so strong. They are just programmed to stay poor. They're programmed at that level, and they don't believe in themselves enough. They don't make decisions. They don't take responsibility, and they're not willing to risk. So they stay in the average condition. And there is nothing wrong with that, by the way. It's okay if you're happy with it. But if you're frustrated, if you're feeling like miserable, if you're feeling that, man, you could do better, then you should be doing some more of this stuff. You should be hanging around people that are doing this. You should be spending more time in mastermind and seeing how people invest in assets and grow. They're like, I didn't have this one 7, 8 years ago. But in a very short amount of time, very short amount of time, and I mean, 7 years is not a long time, right? I need a page in a very short amount of time. I need a page here. Maybe I could put it here. No, actually, we don't want to mess up the book. We're going to put it here. I need a page. So let's do that. So in a very short amount of time, like I'm talking 7 years, right? Since I started getting into this professional development with Bob and Laurel and a few others, but these are the main two. I took my investments 5 times. So in any given month, I have income coming. Any given month. It doesn't stop. This was the beginning of the month. Chish, 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 right? And you start seeing this money coming into your bank account. I didn't have that. I had zero before. Even though I had the education, I had the job, I just depended on the job, but I was frustrated. I wasn't making enough. I was like worried and doubt. And in a very short amount of time, everything grew by 5 times. My personal income, 3 times more than where it was. Why? Because everything is going to grow. You're going to naturally go where everybody's at. You're going to start doing what your mentors and what your coaches and the people you hang around are doing. It's natural. If you start hanging out with losers, you're going to become a loser. If you start hanging out with people who drink a lot, you're going to drink a lot. If you start hanging out with people who smoke weed and do all kind of bad stuff, you're going to be like that. And you could do whatever you want to do. So I decided to want more. So I started hanging around the people that are doing more stuff. And guess what? In a very short amount of time, and that's not a lot of time. And I'm an average person, just like everybody else. Like I'm telling you, I left on a boat, backpack, $300 that I borrowed, that I had to pay back. So if I can do this, you can do this. And this is not theory, this is fact. But I had to change the program. I had to change how I think. I had to change how I act. I had to change how I show up. I wanted to be part of a group that is really making things happen. So if you're trading just your time for money, that's not enough. You're going to end up like one of those retirees that is broke, or you're going to end up working at Kroger's or Myers or some other place, moving shopping carts. And I hope you have better dreams than that. That's why you're here. If you're just investing a little bit of money and hoping that Edwards Jones or T. Rowe Price or Fidelity, guess what? At some point, I think I lost 30% with Edward Jones. At some point, I think I lost 45% with Fidelity because it's always up and down. It's crazy. One day up, one day down. Then I looked at it, this is a few years ago, over a 3 year period, I was only up 3%. I was like, how could that be? How could my income being with a professional company, Fidelity, and at the time, I think it was maybe 4 years ago, my wife was working for them. How could they just be doing 3%? I'm educated, I've got the knowledge, I've got the degrees, and they only earn 3%. I mean, I could put it in the S&P and it makes 7, 8%. But the reason was not them, it's me. I didn't believe in myself to put it just in the S&P. I didn't believe in myself to take the money and put it in a physical asset somewhere that can get me 12, 15, 20%. I just paid out some money to somebody that lent us some of his money, and he got 18%, 18.4% over a 13 months period. Like, listen, there is ways to earn money. We just have to upgrade our thinking. Well, guess what? I'm not with Fidelity anymore. I thought, screw that. I don't want 3%. I want 10. I want 20. I want 40. I want 100%. So then I started thinking like that. Instead of doing just a little bit of that, I started doing some more of that. And he calls that MSI technology, multiple streams of income. There's many ways to earn money. And I'm going to go to this one page here. Um, so you can have as many streams of income as you want, but you're only going to have it if you hang around the right people, if you mastermind with the right people, if you start thinking differently, you start, believing in what others are doing. And to me, it's many different ways. So what could it be? All right. Well, it could be a book. I'm publishing my third book. My first one keeps printing money every month. My courses. If we just do 10 of those a month, whew, my coaching, my one-on-one is very expensive. It's not for everybody. I don't work with everybody. I just need one or two people a month. My investments, one, two, three, four, five. All of these spit out money every month. I could never think like this a few years ago. It was crazy. Partnership with another coach. Now you might be thinking, is there enough? No, there's not. There's always more. There's always more because the more good you do, the more good you deserve. And guess what? All this money goes to your bank account. So listen, I don't know. I'm not promoting any MLM or any network marketing or any. No, no, none of that. I actually don't like MLM. I don't like network marketing. I only deal with real stuff, like a physical thing, a house, a book, a coaching, a multi-apartment unit, a business that's actually working. So these are all what I do, physical things that I can actually put my hands on. That is actually going to generate money into my account in multiple places. I have something from the Middle East coming to my bank account, something from Lebanon. So, but it doesn't matter. It only matters if you start. from the beginning. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to the beginning, which is here. Where was that page? It was here. Do you have a want? You gotta have a want. You gotta have a want. Big want. Now, why big want? Because bigger is better than smaller. I prefer big. The bigger it is, the more ideas you're gonna have. The easier connection point with somebody else out there. So that's kind of what it is. And the more you raise your prices and the more you work with the right people, the better it is because then you have simplicity, you have clarity, and these people are focused and they know what they want. So uh, that's kind of what it is. So don't rely on a single source of income. Don't put all your money in one basket. Don't put just one thing to earn out of. No, have multiple of them, as many as you want. Seven, eight, nine, 10, but it starts with one. First, definitely has to be your job. All right. The reason you're gonna get paid well for your job, why are you gonna get paid well for your job? You're only gonna get paid well for your job if you know what you're doing and if you're good at it. And if you're not good at it, well, shame on you. You're not gonna get more money. You don't just get more money. You have to solve problems. You have to become the best. There's a law about money, all right, that goes like this. The amount of money you earn is by the amount of value you bring. How much value do you bring? How many problems do you solve? And if you're replaceable quickly, guess what? You're not that valuable. You might be valuable somewhere else, but not at that moment. So you have to keep evolving. You have to keep growing. So the amount of money you earn, right, is equivalent with the kind of problems you solve. Are you good at what you're doing? And how difficult it is to replace you? They're going to keep paying you that 200,000, 300,000, 500,000 if you know what you're doing, if you stay at the top of your game, and if you become irreplaceable. Now, everybody's replaceable, but you have to make it difficult. You have to put things in place, complexity, and that's in any job. You don't need to. I'm not talking about you have to open your own company. No, you could be with another company. It doesn't matter, but you got to become the best. You got to become really good at it, become known for something. And then you can start taking some of this money and start, okay, I'm going to do my first investment. And you're like, oh, well, Kamal, I don't want to do rentals and I don't want to be a landlord. I'm not saying do that. There's many different ways to invest. There's people now that are invest like if you're if you're earning more than $200,000 a year, which is most of the people I work with, you can take some of that money and put it in a real estate fund and it's guaranteed and you have a lien against the thing and it's not going to go away and they do all the work for you. You don't have to put it in the stock market that's going up and down. Like I'm telling you, when I looked at my money and Fidelity gave me 3% over a 3-year period, I was pissed. I was mad. I was like, this is a shame on you guys. Like, how is that possible? I'm in my 40s. I have hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they only earn 3% over a 3-year period? That's bullshit. But 95% of the people are silently not saying anything. So all these companies, Manulife, Edward Jones, they don't care. They make their money, they get their fees, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm not going to let them do that anymore. I'm going to be in control of my money. I'm awake enough, aware of it, that I can do it. And it starts with a small step. You have to find that first one. And you do the first one, and you do the second one, and you do the third one. Now, here's the kicker. It's hard to do anything by yourself. You got to do it alone, but you can't do it by yourself. It's a weird thing. You need to be in a group that's doing it. You need to be with somebody that's done it. That's why I went to study with Bob and Laurel and a few others, right? And that's I'm gonna go back to that page. That's what helped me become who I become because I started doing smaller things, smaller scale than they're doing. But guess what? Over 4 or 5 years, I committed to it and I stayed the game, and my net worth is bigger. And if I can increase my assets by 5 times, my income by 3 times, and it's just the outlook is so good and I'm not worried and I can keep having all this income coming to me, you can do the same. I'm no special. Like I said, I came on a boat, I barely spoke the language, and it wasn't go to school, get a degree, pay taxes. No, it was not. It was something totally different. I had to understand money, had to understand a different way to invest some of the income that I have, right? And they helped me grow so much. I'm forever grateful because they kind of they turned the light on, right? When somebody turns the light on for you, guess what? You grow and then you turn the light on for somebody else. It's a beautiful thing. Really, really beautiful. Now, how do we do this? Now, I'm going to mention that, and then maybe we'll take one or two questions, and we'll give you a link. See if you're interested in learning some of the basics. So here's how we do it. We study mentorship and accountability. The same framework that I did with Bob. The same framework. We study some material that I have, the mentorship that we ask questions on it and kind of get expansion. And then accountability. Why accountability? Because we are not going to do it by ourselves. I mean, how many things you've tried to do and you don't do? How many books you have that you haven't read? So, but you got to make that decision. You got to make that decision on what you want. And so this is kind of like a simplified one page of how I set my day for success every day so that I don't end up a broke retiree, so that I'm not worried about my future. I intentionally create my future. And this is what I do with anybody that comes to study with me. And it's pretty much self-driven. We'll answer questions. It could be on a call. You'll have direct access to me. There's not a lot of people in between. Maybe just at the beginning with the emails and stuff, but otherwise we're connected, right here on this phone, right? Everything is right there. And it's easy. It's not hard. It's not physics. It's not science. There's no math. It's all in the mind. So I'm just going to zoom in quickly here to this so you can see it. We study every day. You study every day. You got to start. I actually did with one executive this morning. Was easy. He needed some help. Boom. Then we got to have a goal. You got to have a want. That's number two. And then the third, what are you going to do? What are you going to do to increase your income? Yesterday was Friday on my way home. Guess what? I'm asking myself, what am I going to do to increase my income? I passed by a property because it went online, available for sale. I said, you know what? I can go and get it. Now, I might not want it, but I might know somebody that want it. And guess what? I called somebody while I was there and I videotaped the whole thing. So that's how I'm doing it, and it's working for me. You're gonna find the thing for you that's gonna make you money, the thing that's gonna help you earn. And then as you get more into the lessons with me, we talk about your self-image, we talk about the limiting beliefs, we talk about discipline, and we talk about you becoming the next version of you, right? So kind of the basics are here. These are the basics. And then this is more of the advanced. So and that's what I want for all of you. I want you to decide like, what is it that you want. Say these are the thing, and you got to start working at it one day at a time, 2 days at a time, 3 days, and you grow. And I've said it for many times. In 30 days, you can change your future. You can be at like a whole different level. I'm going to leave you with that. Um, and I'll give you the link in the chat in a minute here as to how to get started, and we'll also put it in the LinkedIn networking thing, whatever the thing's called, the event. You do not have to be sick to get better. Because some of you could be at the 100,000 or the 200 or the million, right? And if you go back to my first image, right? What if some of this conversation can really move you to by a factor of 10? What if you can upgrade, right? And shift the thinking to go, and I help you make that decision to go from 5 million to 10 million. How much is that worth to you, right? And it's all just one decision away. One decision, one shift by a factor of 10 or 20 or 100. So the small amount of money that you're gonna participate in to get access, to get inspired, to shift yourself is gonna help you move a whole lot more. A whole lot more. Then you have to participate, you have to pay the price to play the game. There's a lot of stuff everywhere. A lot of stuff for free. Trust me, free doesn't work. I tried it for 22 years. It doesn't work. You gotta be willing to play the game. Once you play the game, you can shift 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times. Now I'm playing the game. How far can I go? I'm impressed with where I'm going and I want to go further. I want to go more. And I don't know how far I can go because the game is fun. So that's what I'm going to. You don't have to be sick to get better because you could be saying, Kamal, I'm already happy at the 3 million. Why do I need more? Because there's more. You can give more. You can provide more for other people. You can share other. What if you can go to 5, to 10, to 50? What if you can duplicate yourself, right? What if you can do less and earn more? And that's the idea. That's the shift. That's the shift in thinking. And that's where, the growth mindset comes to play really heavily. So that's kind of the idea. Multiple streams of income in any way you want. If you're depending on one income for your retirement, another way to go. And hopefully this helped. Hopefully this was exciting and insightful for a Saturday afternoon. It's beautiful weather here where we're at. John, good to see you here, and Nancy is awesome from our Sunday book club. Well, what's your thought, John? What can you share with everybody here that's going to eventually hear this on the LinkedIn event
Yeah,
to inspire people to their
yeah,
greatest? What's your thought?
yeah, it's been really helpful because it kind of I can look backwards at where I haven't done what I needed to. The
Mm.
really powerful part is the multiple streams of income because I
Hmm.
can focus on one thing and then maybe add something else. But in the big picture, if I break those out into different streams of income, I can work on each one of those and they all contribute to my bank account instead of like working on one and say, okay, I'm done for the day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got another stream to work on, another stream to work on, another stream to work on. And if I divide the things I'm doing into those distinct streams of income, then I can focus on each one of those and give it what it needs so that then it can continue to generate income. As you said, so I'm making money in my sleep, right? Because it's going to continue to do that. So, and also the powerful part of looking towards those investments,
Hmm.
because investments, right? I mean, if I'm taking my money and putting it somewhere else again, that's a passive income, but it's good income, then I don't have to worry about it. So really, really helpful.
No, that's awesome. Like the day that I woke up and I saw $378 in my account when I didn't do anything overnight, I was like, damn, this thing works. Like, and it's like, okay, now I can work on my higher value activities. And John
Right,
Tini taught me how to do that when we figured out our values. If you can structure it like that, you just work on the higher value stuff. Uh, I was like, wow, this really works. And then you have your first investment or second one, then you see it every month, every month, every month. Like we literally have multiple investments that pretty much paid off and they just generate income. And we have to pay attention to them. Somebody still has to do whatever, but it's a great, great feeling. And
yeah,
it's in this country, in the US, right? And you could do this in the US, in Europe, in Canada. I mean, in the Middle East and some countries, it's really tough. But if you're an advanced country, this is so doable. And that's why I named it like this. When in this country, the best country in the world, 65% of retirees are broke, is because they're broke up here. There are so many broke retirees mentally with money because when they were young, they did not understand money.
right, right,
And that's the shift that is so key. So awesome, beautiful. Yeah, that's I mean that circle of multiple channel is huge with relationships, with business partners, books, whatever is the way that makes you feel good to earn money, right?
right,
You don't want to be
right,
earning money in a way that is not safe or not right for you. You have to be happy about it. And then because there's so many miserable people doing things for 40 years in a miserable life, earning money. That's not a way to live. Yeah,
right,
they,
right. No, absolutely.
yeah, they do it
That's
at the cost of a
uh,
life, and you don't want to do it at the cost of a life. So that
right,
is just the hardest way possible to do. So with that, like I said, many people don't even have the basics of making that decision or making that definite call as to this is really what I want, and they're too scared and afraid. And that's why I always do it with a quick start to start studying with me and learning with me what it is, and they'll get access to it. And from there, the sky is the limit. It's an easy way to start, Very simple and very effective. And I've done it so many times, and is grateful. So
Do
that
that.
is cool. Yes, Nancy, would love to hear from you. What's your thought on what you heard on how can we stop more retirees from being broke, or your take? Go ahead, Nancy. Where's Nancy? I gotta get the camera. Unmute, please.
Are you there, Nancy?
She,
There
yeah,
we go. Oh,
maybe now. No, you got muted again.
could be a technical issue.
Yeah, but I see it's connected. Well, I'm gonna click the unmute, see if it gives her a pop on her screen. Nancy, you're still muted. If you're trying to share with us your lovely voice, we're not hearing you. Unmute first, please. Oh, Nancy's trying from a different computer. There was technical issue. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now, loud and clear.
Sorry about that. I wanted to say thank you, number one. And earlier today, I was working on my Freedom Day number and getting more clarity on what that number is.
Yeah.
And then this presentation confirmed two things. Number one, we do have to create or produce passive income. It's not an option. And that does require the study. And then two, as I was working on that number, I realized that as an accountant, we call it living expenses, but it's really what is the lifestyle that you
Mm.
want so that the passive income has to supplement that lifestyle that you desire. And so I really appreciate this presentation. It was awesome. Thank you.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And you see the synchronicity, right? You earlier in the day, you didn't even know, you had no idea about my presentation, but you're thinking freedom number. And now, okay, it shows up on the screen, freedom day, freedom number. We have to intentionally want it. And that's how the universe speaks to us, right? And it brings it to you. You made the time and you're here. So really, really cool. Thank you both for being here. And everybody that's seeing here, Nancy or John, connect with them. They're amazing. They're also on LinkedIn and in the mastermind and book club. They're incredible people. They can really help you switch because I've shown this before. Like we all have this bug that's planted in our mind, and it's time to change it. It's time to get a new program, get a new way of thinking about money because it is available and it is possible. And if I can do it, every one of you out there can do it. I'm serious. Like this thing of programming, I did not believe in it before. I'm an engineer. I had to really verify it, make sure this thing works. It works. So you don't have to be sick to get better. If you're at 100,000, you could be at 200. If you're at a million, you could be at 10 million. It's just a new program. It's just a new way of thinking. I'm reprogramming my mind on that next level, and I want each and every one of you to do the same because it's already here, and you know you can have a whole lot more fun, a whole much more abundant life, and enjoyable. So perfect. We're right on time. So love that. Thank you both. Thank you, John. Thank you, Nancy.
Yeah.
And
Thank you, Kamal.
yeah, be
Yeah.
blessed.
We will see you tomorrow. Yeah.
Yes, we'll see you tomorrow. We'll continue. It's going to be amazing. Have a good weekend.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you.